Welcome to No Small Roles. This is the show where I speak with fellow actors about their careers and about some of their smaller roles in big movies and TV, and how those roles are, in fact, not at all small for the actors who play them. Now, today's guest is my good friend, Alison Wachtler. Alison is one of the most talented, most unique voices in the business. So supportive of other actors, also very competitive, a true go-getter. And she's been doing it a while, and I can't wait to hear her stories. Alison,
hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I've been around since pterodactyls flew, and I've also started my career before cell phones. So
what?
I might be the oldest guest you've ever had.
Wait, there was a time before cell phones?
There was a time when we had to use the telephone, Ian. The telephone. All right.
With like a wire?
Yeah. And you had to call people.
Oh,
and
that's
walk to their offices.
Oh, that's horrible. But scripts could still be emailed to you and stuff like that, right?
I was there before they faxed. So you had to go to the office and pick them up. You had to go to the soap opera office in person. It had to be you. You couldn't send a friend.
I don't know if you know, my first jobs in the business was delivering scripts for TV shows like Sabrina the Teenage Witch and Party of Five. So I'd have to drive all night to get everyone their scripts. It was on their step when they woke up in the morning.
Oh, well, no one delivered mine. I went and picked it up at the studio.
It's because you were in New York.
Yeah. You're probably right. Oh my goodness.
Is LA people.
Wow.
But anyway, Alison, I have to ask you the question. Are you ready for the question?
With bacon.
What? Oh, Kevin bacon?
No. You're going to ask me if I want to have grilled cheese with or without tomatoes.
No. What are you talking
about? I thought I got you. Damn.
I don't know what do you mean? That's not even a part of the show.
The grilled cheese. Don't do that to me.
What are you talking about? Okay. Wait, grilled cheese with or without tomato? And you said with bacon?
Bacon. Yes, grilled cheese and bacon. My favorite thing in the whole wide world. But if I had to go with what you said, I'll take the tomato. Grilled cheese, perfect food. Love it.
Oh, we are so on the same page. The bacon, I think that distracts too much from the cheese, but I respect
really
that.
Crispy. Have it. I'm telling you, grilled cheese and bacon, the best. It's probably before your time.
No, we're like from the same time. Stop. You're a youngster. Actually, I want to ask you before we go on, what is this?
That is hair. I did a lot of theater. I did musical theater. I did hair twice. And yes, I did do the nude scene. I did Chicago. I did everything. Is
this hair?
That's hair. And that's with Jack Coleman, who's on Heroes. And he was in Dynasty. So yes, Ian, I've known since I could breathe what I wanted to do. There was never, ever any second thought. That was it.
That brings me to the next question, which is, okay, so you've known since the moment you were born.
Mm-hmm.
So, but why? Like, why?
Idiot.
Why? You're like New York and smart and from the suburbs. Why would you be an actor?
I saw movies and, I saw like Anne Margaret and Bye Bye Birdie, and I watched Betty Davis all the time. And I said, oh my God. And I remember seeing Westerns and I thought people volunteered to die. I mean, I really did. I was like, they want to do it so quickly. They're willing to die for this. So what can I do to get in there?
I want to do that.
I mean, I was like, what can I do? What can I do to do anything to be part of this?
Did it seem like something like a possibility for you, or you were going to make it a possibility regardless?
Well, it's interesting. I knew that I'm kind of a dime a dozen in New York. I'm not that unusual. So I had to figure out how to get in and stay in. And I said, well, I'm just going to do it for the rest of my life. So if it takes 150 years, I'll be 150. And I started doing commercials when I was in elementary school, taking acting lessons.
Wow. So your parents, your family, everyone knew this is what you're going to do.
No one could tell me I couldn't do it. There wasn't, people say, well, I was held back. What? Are you kidding me? There's nothing anyone would have said. They couldn't. This is what I was going to do. I don't care what would happen. And so they were supportive.
But you did like get an education in journalism or something like that. Is that correct?
I did everything you were supposed to do. I, went to school, went to college, but every summer, Ian, every school break, every time I could do anything to advance my career, I was doing it. I was doing summer stock. I was doing acting lessons in between things. I just knew I had to find a way to
Yeah.
get to New York. And, and I'm like, 10, 11 years old. I have to find a way. There were times my parents would say no. Like, they're like, you're going to your prom. You're not doing a layout for a magazine. You're not, I was very, like that.
I think you are my first guest where they're like, I knew from the moment maybe Audrey, actually, I think she knew from the beginning, but that you knew right away. A lot of people are like, I realized when I was like 20 or in high school or.
This is really going to sound crazy, but sometimes I think it's an affliction. I mean, I think there's something wrong with someone.
That's why I prefaced the question that way.
Yeah. I'm like, I used to wish that I didn't want it. I would wake up and I'd say, oh, please don't want it. Do something else with your life. Do something nice so people aren't mean and don't say mean things about you. But I stayed.
And it seems, and I have to say, it does seem like something that doesn't go away, because I know I've seen you feel, like I said, you can be competitive. You can also feel like your worth, your value, what you should get, especially after the time you've had in the business. So, but it's still, you still get pretty stung.
Oh my God. When I hear people say, I started 5 years ago and someone gave me a break. I started 10 years ago. I started 20 years ago. I'm sitting there going, boo-hoo. Call the ambulance. I went into New York, like I told you, on every break I had. And I would go in and I would get these black and white 8x10s and I'd get 1,000 of them. And then I would staple my resumes behind them because they didn't have crazy glue. Mm-hmm. And I would go everywhere, Ian. I mean, everywhere. I would ask doormen if they were famous people in their buildings. I remember walking 25 flights at 250 West 57th Street, putting my thing under the door. And one of the guys said, the elevator's broken. How'd you get here? And I said, I walked.
You're like,
they said, you have that kind of tenacity? And I said, yeah. And they said, well, then you'll make it in this business. So I'm like, will you represent me? Well, I didn't say that, but
Yeah.
So I just, just would do it and do it and do it. And my if I can tell you a story.
Tell it.
All right. So I'm putting my thing under everyone's, and a friend of mine from college says, I think the guy who directed Rocky is in my building. I'm like, let me at it. So I put my picture under his door along with 5,000 others. Please.
Just like Avildsen or
John Avildsen.
Okay.
John Avildsen. He wasn't married. And I didn't know what a Me Too was. And this isn't a Me Too story.
Sure.
So I put it under his door and I get a call. He said, he'll come over, he'll talk about the business with you and you'll have dinner. So I'm like, great, tomorrow? Like when? So they're like, come over. So I come over. I remember this so well. Go in, overlooking, New York. And his cook made us a Cobb salad. And we're talking the business. And he's telling me about what it was like to shoot Neighbors with John Belushi
and Dan Aykroyd too. I think.
Yes. Yep. He told me all about them, like really good stories. And then he told me about Jack Lemmon, because he had done a movie with him. And then the Rocky Oscar was sitting there. So I said, is there any way that maybe I could, pick up the Oscar for Rocky? Sure. Finish my Cobb salad, pick up the Rocky thing. And he said to me, do you know what the loneliest day of my whole life was? And I said, what? He said, the morning after I got that Oscar.
That's so sad.
I said, what? It's the Oscar. What are you kidding? This is like the start of your career. And he said, how do you know that? How do you know I won't do a better movie? How do you know that this isn't the end? I mean, he went on to do Karate Kid and stuff. He said, this could be my best work. And that really blew me away, because I was like, wow, John Avildsen got the Rocky Oscar and he's telling me he doesn't feel secure in the business.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
What did that, not to eclipse your story, but was he just being a nice person to talk to, or was he like, here's a young actress in my apartment?
No. He was just really nice, and he was answering all my questions, and
that's so cool.
He was just such a nice guy, and I was so naive. I'm like, tell me everything I need to know.
Yeah. Well, good for you though.
So that was just the first of many. I did it many, many times.
That's crazy. I'm glad.
Crazy, right? I mean, it's like I wouldn't do that today.
But you're you are sweet and you're very supportive, but you're also kind of a tough cookie. So I imagine, were you always a bit of a tough cookie? back
just
then?
didn't know that. I didn't know how bad the business could get. I mean, I didn't
Yeah.
know. I kept thinking, well, I'm going to talk to this person. I'm going to do that. And then I got the reality sandwich of New York, which
Oh,
is,
sure.
5,000 resumes later and pictures and resumes, and no one's there. And, you're, getting nervous.
Of course.
And so I was lucky enough to meet an agent who didn't represent me, but
Yeah.
suggested I go to Larry Moss's class. And I don't know if you know who Larry Moss is.
I
He's
do. And I think you just sent me a link as well.
Yeah.
But tell me.
Very big teacher. And I mean, he was thanked by Helen Hunt at the audience. He's a really big deal. And
Yeah.
he told me to take his class. Now to audit it, it's like $250, but then it was $99, 3 days a week,
Wow.
for 3 days a week. So you went to Larry Moss's class, and
Mhm.
they were real heavy hitters in these classes. Ian, these were really big name people. And I was the youngest by far.
Yeah.
And you would do scene studies, you would do monologues, and it was so hard, Ian. It was so hard.
Did you audition to get in, or you just paid to get in? How did that work?
At that point, you paid to get in, but you had to have someone refer you. And I had that agent who referred me.
Yes.
And I knew people in his class. So, because I'd take Weiss-Barre and all those other classes. So I knew people.
Good for you, though.
So he took me, and it was really hard, Ian. It was like you're crying every day. You're, getting in, you're doing scene studies that you have to bring in suitcases for all your props and your clothes. Hard work.
So like acting boot camp.
It was boot camp. And I did 7 years of it.
Did you find it rewarding, or were you like, wow, this is beating me down?
I was so inspired by watching, and I'll tell you, Ian, some of the best actors in the world, people have never met. They were people in these classes that were so good. So good. I remember C. Thomas Howell was one of the people.
Oh, yeah.
Remember him? And you would do a scene with these people, and they were so good, and they made you up your game. So it was so wonderful to see what I could do. I knew I wasn't as good as a lot of the people in the class. They were amazing. And then
I'm sure you were.
No. I'm saying it was like I did what I did to keep up. But one night he did a workshop theater show of all of his best scenes, and he picked one of mine.
Oh, that's cool.
It was really rewarding. So I was, off Broadway and stuff, and I did a lot of that. So
it seems legit, though. I can't imagine that was just chosen to be kind.
No, I worked really hard.
Yeah.
And I also took with David Craig, who is, if you ever want to Google a person, he was Jason Alexander was in that class before he was Jason Alexander. And what they did is they got actors to sing and find the story behind the song. It was fascinating. So yes, I took lessons like crazy.
Good for you. That's great, though.
And one of the teachers had this thing where you don't know how you come off to people. So he would, before anyone knew anyone, he would make everyone fill out a form about a person, and you have to say what you think they are, where do you think they live, what kind of pet do they have. So I'm coming from college, and I'm thinking, I am the toughest girl. I played the villain in every college thing. They're going to know I'm a tough ass. And I got living on Park Avenue with a poodle. That was a thought. And I'm like, I'm in an 11 by 17 studio with a mangy cat. Is that
which is better than a poodle?
Yeah. I was like, so that's how I come off. So that's how I had to learn. I learned what I was capable of and what I was never going to pass as.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just like I'm only seen as a doctor.
Oh, yeah.
But no complaints.
Listen, I wanted to be seen as anything, and I didn't know what to do, So then I started the background extra stand-in work.
Before we continue, we have the segment I think that you know about called the Kiss and Tell, where people share a behind-the-scenes story. We're going to tease it if we can in one word. Do you have a word you can tease your Kiss and Tell?
If I don't tell it before, belt. B-E-L-T.
All right. Oh, we back to the grilled cheese and the BLT?
No.
Belt. I'm just kidding.
No.
Belt.
I was just thinking of the other experiences where I saw how insecure big people were.
Okay.
Should I go there or should I stop?
Oh, is that the we should save the kiss and tell for later, but
It's not the kiss and tell.
oh, then let's hear. Yeah, any story you want to share anytime, please, please.
You had to audition for stand-ins back then, you know, to be a stand-in. So I was a
Audition.
stand-in. Yes, you had to stand there and they have to see if your body movement was like the person, your measurements, your this. It was, I'm telling you, it was rough. Okay. And I didn't have an agent and I was really young. So I stood in for Kathleen Turner, Lily Tomlin, and Cher. But Kathleen Turner was the first one, and it was Romancing the Stone.
Oh, wow.
And I was on the set for a very long time, and it was Bob Zemeckis, and they gave me a little scene. You know how sometimes they'll throw you a bone, so they gave me a little scene that was cut, but I did have like a little scene, so I thought it was kind of important.
It happens.
Yeah, and Kathleen Turner was chain smoking the whole time, and I was like, "Why are you so nervous?" And she said, "Are you kidding?" She said, "Do you know what this business could do to me?" I said, "What do you mean? You did body heat. You're Kathleen Turner." And she said, "You know, I could lose my looks. I could gain weight. I could be out the door next week. You have no idea what this business is like." And I was like, you know, it was like the John Avildsen.
So true.
You know, yeah, she was like worried. She was, and then I did a thing. Am I talking too fast?
No, please. I want to hear. Yeah, no, these are unique stories.
They had this other thing where if you wanted to be in a Woody Allen movie, you had to go on this long line and wait. And then there was a curtain and he would be behind the curtain. And all you could do is say your name and move on. And everyone said he was behind the curtain. I guess he was. Anyway, I must have done that 150. I went out for every Woody Allen movie, never got anything, but they started to feel sorry for me. So they gave me a featured extra as a waitress in Another Woman. And so I go to the set and I remember everything had to be in mushroom color, wheat color. That was like the big theme. So I was a waitress wearing my wheat thing and I wait on Mary Steenburgen and I'm so excited. And she had just done Harold and Melvin. And I'm like, wow, I'm going to be in a movie. And he came over and gave me direction. And I was like, wow, this is so great. And she's feeling nervous. And I said, why are you so nervous? She goes, you know, he fires his leading actors a lot. I said, oh, come on. He's not going to fire you. You're Mary Steenburgen. You're like the hottest thing. She said, you never know. So I'm like, I got my direction, couldn't wait, go to the trailer, put on my wheat colored outfit the next day. I'm like, okay, where's Mary? And they're like,
oh no.
Placed.
By Jessica. Is that the Jessica Lange movie? Is that right?
I'm not sure, but I was out. There was
my gosh.
No Mary, there was no me. I'm like, you know, this
is so evil.
It's so evil. And this kept happening. I kept having these wonderful things and I just couldn't. And it was like getting slapped in the face and all the people you looked up to telling you, this is rough.
Not to take from your story, but I was doing this commercial in Belgium. It was a Toyota commercial. And I arrive on set and there was this woman they were teaming me up with to be my wife. And when I arrived, they're like, oh, he looks younger than her. They fired her. Brought in another woman who looked like 10 years younger than me. And then they're like, oh, he looks a bit too scrawny for this role. So they had me wear like 2 pairs of jeans, 2 shirts. I'm like, I'm going to be fired next. But they kept me with all these like extra clothes. It was so horrible. Like you were just saying.
Horrible. And I watched it all the time. And it makes you kind of, all right, deep breath, keep going. You know, this is going to take a while. It's going to be slow. You'll do it. You know, so it was hard. And then of course there was, I refer back to David Curtis's interview when he talked about getting into the unions. And that was a whole different story back in the days.
How did that happen for you?
In those days, the only way you could get into the union, there was no vouchers. There was no, you get up, you know, it didn't happen. So you had to prove somehow, either you had to be an extra and be upgraded, but that would never happen to me. I was an extra on 200 films. I was never upgraded. I mean, really.
I've tried for that too.
It not happening, Allison. So the only other way you could do is if you could prove that you could do something no one else could do. I can't do really much that anyone else can do. I'm from New York. I'm living in New York. So I had been up to J. Walter Thompson a million times for auditions. I was always signed in under Lauren Graham. I remember that. Who's on.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So anyway, so I go into J. Walter Thompson and I audition and he said, you know, you were by far the best person for this role, but I had to swear I see 40 people before I can give you the role that are in SAG. And
Oh,
it's shooting tomorrow morning and it's 3:00. So I said, if I can get 40 people to say that they were here. He said, well, they're going to have their socials too, because you have to sign in with your social and everything. He said, if you can get 40 people to do that, have that on my desk by 6:00 tonight, the role is yours.
no way.
All right, 40 people. So I finally went back to my Ford model friends in the acting class because they were gorgeous, Ian. These women,
Yeah.
I mean, forget it, and they were all wanted to be actresses, and I spoke to them and I said, listen, I got to get 40 of your friends and hopefully they'll be blonde and they won't look like me. And she's like, we're going to do this for you. So she rallied up everybody. She told some of them it was a grab bag and you had to give your social security number. I mean, we together got these.
Yeah.
Notes. So I got 40 women who don't look anything like me to say that they were there. 6:00, I drop it on his desk. I said, here are the signatures. Everyone is going to say they were here. All right. And he said, Alison, you got it.
Oh my God.
It's a SAG. But I mean, that's what it took.
That's what I mean by you being a go-getter. My God.
How else was that? And you couldn't work if you weren't in SAG, and you could not get a commercial. You couldn't get anything.
Boy, has that changed.
Oh, tell me about
It's
it.
the opposite.
Business, and they were like, you're not getting any more commercials. I'm like, oh yeah, I've done 1 million commercials. Wait till you see. Yeah, guess what?
Yeah. That's over. That's
Yeah.
crazy though. But obviously when you went in and this casting director liked you, I mean, they liked you, they wanted you, but they felt they had to do all this extra work. But you earned that. It's just, you had to do that little extra
You
thing.
had to be a New Yorker. All right. And I
Yeah.
can say New York accent in a second, right? So you have to be a New Yorker. And I always brought costumes. So I brought in a fur coat. They said, you're a shopper. I brought in 500 bags. I just tried to do anything I could do.
I have that commercial here. I have it connected to a couple of others, so it's going to lead into the commercial you're talking about.
Mhm.
So let's see the others, and then we can talk about those others as well after.
Every year for the holidays, our cousins from New York come up to our place in Boston, and things get a little testy.
You are not putting that tablecloth on this table.
I'd like to see you try and stop me.
Discover NHL Thanksgiving Showdown on NBC. It's the one thing everyone can agree on.
Are you kidding me? You don't remember Bobby Hope flying through the air?
He took a dive!
Hello?
Kate Nielsen, Kevin Seal, host of the TV show Cable is On. Do you have cable?
I don't. I just haven't made the call.
That's too bad. Cable gives you what you want when you want it. Hours of great programs, first-run movies, 24-hour news, lots to choose from on dozens of channels.
Sounds great, but...
I'd really like you to try cable. I'd do anything if you would. I'd even stand on my head.
You would?
With cable, you get great reception on all the local Boston channels. You won't miss a minute of the local news, weather, or sports. And right now, you can get cable installed for free. Free!
Come on in, Kevin. Watch your head. I am so glad I signed up. You want some popcorn?
I really love your shoes.
Cable is on.
What does it take to provide good service? Well, it all starts with a simple attitude of treating customers the way you'd want to be treated. Being a bartender for the Grand Round is a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun too. You get to work with and meet all kinds of great people. Your behavior and attitude behind the bar is the key.
Excuse me. Have you heard of Impulse?
It's a terrific air freshener. Does it come in a solid?
That's it. It's that last one, right? Is the one you're talking about.
And it's funny. I was pregnant in one of the other ones.
Does it come in a solid?
Yeah. It's so stupid, but it made such a difference, And I did a ton of industrials. I mean,
Oh, those are the worst. We've talked about that. I mean,
I did. It really saved my bacon, though. I mean, I made
good.
a lot of money doing them. And in Boston, we had Digital Corp and the same group of people, and they know who they are if they're watching. We all got all of them over and over and over again. So I made a lot of money between that.
Good.
So it was good.
And you work for those. When you do that work, that is work.
Oh, and it's so great. And it was with the same people, and it was,
Okay.
it was a nice unit. I mean, yeah.
You can get comfortable, I guess, when you do it enough. The couple of times I've done it, I'm like, I don't enjoy this at all.
Oh my God, it's a piece of cake. And they love you. You're promoting their thing.
But even like for an industrial, like, aren't you just kind of talking to their internal people?
Sometimes it's on a teleprompter, which is fun.
I can't do that naturally. Okay, I can do that naturally in case I ever have to do that.
Oh, I hate to do this, but I did a bunch of NYU films. They don't put them on IMDb, but I did like 20 of them when I first.
That's great. That's great practice.
It was great practice. And one of the people was friendly with, do you know who Vincent Gardenia was?
Yes.
He was Moonstruck. He was an older actor. And I played opposite him. I always was the ditzy, like, I don't know what I'm doing, that type of thing. After I played the evil parts, I got to New York and then I was just stupid and a ditz. So I worked with Vincent Gardenia and I remember he had little pieces of paper all over the set. Oh. And I said, what are those? He goes, you don't think we're going to memorize this, do you? And I was like, we get to do that? We can put little pieces of paper around the set?
No.
If you're Vincent Gardenia, you can. No one's
true.
So I was like, wow, people cheat. People, and I started.
Have you done that?
Oh my God, all the time. Whoops.
What?
Yeah, like under the you're a librarian, you put it under the book. You're a waitress, it's in the menu.
Like a safety net. Sure, it's good to have. Like
you never
really
use it, but
no,
it's good to know that it's good to know that it's there.
Well, I think I told you about Robert Downey Jr. having the lines read into his ears while he was acting opposite us and The Judge.
Oh wow! Malcolm McDowell was on a teleprompter. I'm like, good for you.
Wait, tell me. Can you tell me about Malcolm McDowell, this experience?
This was great, Ian. Last summer, I shot the movie Summer House, and I'm really excited about it. I play a mother in the 60s to Jacob Ward, who's a wonderful actor, and he goes to work for Malcolm McDowell, who's an eccentric guy. It reminds me of my favorite year. And I said that to Malcolm McDowell. He said, I should only be good as Peter O'Toole. He knew exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, I think one of the greatest experiences, and this is what's so great about getting old, is that sometimes your greatest experiences haven't even happened yet. Like you think it's all past. But there I was last summer in a rose garden with Malcolm McDowell for a whole day. And I got to hear every story, and he has great ones. He has great ones, and his philosophies and what he likes and what he didn't like. And I'm sitting there going, I should be here. You talk about syndrome. I have the opposite. I'm like, I'm supposed to be here, So
which is great. And that is true, is absolutely true that you deserve to be there.
I'm the only one who thinks that though. Sometimes, I feel like
no, that's not true. But did he talk about like stories from A Clockwork Orange and things like that?
I asked him about somewhere in the one with the time tunnel.
Time After Time.
Yes. Was that the one?
I love that movie.
I asked him about that and he told me that the other actor he played opposite had recently died and they were like best friends.
Oh yeah. What's his name?
English actor, blonde
Warren something. I forget. That was with Mary Steenburgen as well. She did not get fired.
I realized that's why I kind of switched the subject because I knew they got divorced. So I switched to a different movie.
Oh, okay.
But he was telling me, I said, isn't it hard to leave your family on all these because I have a hard time going on location. I said, don't you ever feel like a little bit?
Sure.
And he said, oh gosh, it's a vacation. I love my family, but it's a vacation.
Oh,
like, what a nice attitude.
I'm like you though. Even like the second I'm driving away, I'm like, I miss them already.
Yeah. And this was Connecticut. It wasn't that far,
Oh, that's right. We almost said hi. I think I was like maybe down south. I don't know.
I was such a baby. I think you were down south. I was such a baby that I had 2 friends from high school meet me for dinner like every night. I have to get in touch with old people.
Well, I think it also helps to kind of be human and in contact with people, not just fixating on the job. It makes it more natural.
And the most important thing in the world is to have a life outside of this business because it will never love you back. If you get out of it, no one cares.
Well, that's a part that I wanted to say in your intro, like the most important thing is that you're a mom of 2 kids, right? A daughter and a son.
I'm actually a grandma now too.
And a grandma and a wifey.
And a wife and
to your lovely husband.
Yeah. Yes. And you have to have a life. You have to have a life because all we are is storytellers and our story is what we know. So if we don't live a life, if we don't have different phases of our life, you can't show anybody all the different things that you are,
Yeah. And we take from what we see and experience. So absolutely I'm with you on that.
Yeah. Life, live, because I can't believe the lack of love you get from this business. I'm sorry, it's true.
Well, it's just, even in that moment when you're on a set and you do feel the love, like I'm sure you did last summer, everyone's on to their next project or hoping to even get the project they just worked on to get its feet rolling. So
yeah, and you're on social media and you see everybody else getting the roles that you auditioned for, and you're like, what am I even looking at that for? That's doom scrolling. Why don't I just be here?
Yeah, that is torture. And then again, it's the other part of it is for the people who say are posting it. It's like they have to make it look like they're busy, and it's so goofy.
I hate it. I'm not on TikTok. I'm not on Threads. I'm not on whatever the other one is. I'm not on any of them. They never help me.
It's not healthy for most people.
And you know what? The best people are shutting up. If you're going on and on and on,
Yeah. I hear you. What I want to ask you, how did we? Okay, so we talked about a little bit of theater. We talked about the commercial, getting your SAG card, but how did this happen?
Oh, and I hear they have hot tubs. Can you believe it? I mean, skiing all day, and then sitting in a hot tub underneath the stars. Oh, absolute bliss.
Do you think Corey Jackson from ICU is going to be there?
Are you kidding? All the doctors go there. It's the greatest.
Oh, I just hope he's there this weekend.
Why? You gonna take a hot tub with him?
No. Well, maybe.
Stanley Clayton. Bev, look, there he is, Dr. Jackson. Oh, he's so cute. Ask him if he's going skiing this weekend.
How long? He doesn't even know I'm alive.
Hi, Bev.
At the time, what did you think this was for your? Was this shortly after the fur jacket thing?
Yes. Once I got into the union, I had left. You know how we used to do pictures and resumes? We also left postcards with our pictures on them, and so I would get 700 of them or something, and I would send them everywhere. And the one thing you could get was something called an under 5. It meant 5 lines are under. I think now, is that like a guest or a something star? What is that now? I don't know.
I think those are under co-star because I think maybe I have done one under 5.
Okay, they were called under 5s, but you could get them if you were really persistent and if you wore down the casting directors into the ground. So I would drop off my card over and over and over again. And I remember one time I left a box of chocolates and they told me never to do that. They said, don't you ever do that again. She'll never use you. She hates people. I'm like, okay. Up with the postcards. And I got on Another World, One Life to Live, As the World Turns, Search for More. I got on every single one of them as an under 5.
Were they all the same casting director or these are different casting
No,
directors?
oh my God, no. I hit every single one up 7,000 times. It was really hard to do. So I would get them and they would call me back because they knew I'd be at their door that morning. I was eager to get a couple of lines and to get some I did a lot of soap operas.
This is a recurring theme, like you making opportunities happen.
Nothing, Ian, I got to tell you, nothing has ever come to me easily. Like people always say, and then they saw me or they gave me a break or never, ever happened to me. Every single thing I did, I always felt like I wasn't unusual. I wasn't an interesting ethnic minority, or I wasn't I didn't speak another language. I just, and you have to be something. So I chose the persistent route and well-trained.
That's funny.
For a long time.
But I see you as one of the most unique actors I know. I can't think of anyone like you. You are no one could play a role like you could. And I'm like,
so sweet to say that.
I mean it 100% true. So I find that hard. I find that surprising that that's how that felt to you at the time back then.
Well, that's really, like I said, at Park Avenue with a poodle, I'm like, really? You don't know how you come off to people.
I could see you play that. I could see you play that, but in your unique way.
Well, that's what we do as actors. We show up, you know your lines, and you bring something of you to everything. But you have to make them to let you do that. And that's what's so hard. I know once I'm on set, like that stupid commercial with the popcorn, I brought popcorn. Oh, yeah. No one else thought of popcorn. That was me,
Question, was he really there?
Yeah.
Okay, it seemed
Oh,
like
next
maybe.
day? Oh no. Oh, you mean when I was on? Oh, no, he was not there. He was.
Okay, it feels that way. Like he shot in L.A. and then I don't know.
No. I don't remember. Oh,
Okay,
anyway,
it's okay. It was a while ago.
all I know is that whenever I audition for anything, and they always make fun of me at Boston Casting, I always do something that nobody else does. I don't care how stupid it is. I don't care if it's bringing in popcorn because I'm in a movie. I don't care if it's picking my teeth because she's gross. I will do anything to try to be different, even though they say, do less, do less. I do less. They don't even see me.
Yeah. No, I think it's good to make there's so many of us. So how else are you going to stand out other than with your unique voice? You know what I realized I forgot?
What?
At the beginning of the show, normally I go off a list of other projects the actors have done. So I'm going to do it very quickly right now.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Are you okay with that?
I'm okay with it, but please know that there's a big section from New York where they didn't give IMDb credit. So
and there's a whole lot of things I'm not going to mention just because there's a lot of them. There's a lot of indies and other things too. All right, here it goes, everybody. You may know Alison from All My Children, which we all know now because we just watched that. Working Girl, Another World, A Matter of Principle, One Life to Live, As the World Turns, The Congressman, Chappaquiddick, With a Thud. We did that together. How to Train Your Husband, The Immigrant, Chemistry Read. I want to talk about that too. Vault, Dark Harbor, Zodiac, Pickleball, the movie. Sorry Baby, which is coming out, I think like this week or next week.
Yeah.
New A24 movie. And then a whole bunch of indies and commercials. But can we talk, since I just mentioned it, about Sorry Baby?
Sorry Baby. Meanwhile, she's in Vogue. She's on the cover of Filmmaker. She's on the cover of she's on Rolling Stone this week.
Her or the cat?
Eva Victor.
Okay.
She did a great thing. You know, she wrote, she directed, she stars in, and she had these auditions. And Ian, I do auditions. I swear to God, I do a million auditions. I throw them into the ether and I get crickets back. I mean, it's like
most of us.
Oh my God. I feel like there's a thing in New York, a series I'm dying to get on. I've auditioned 9 times and I couldn't have done any better. I look at the auditions and I keep thinking the same one. And I keep thinking, you know, could I have done something else? And you know what? I couldn't. Anyway.
What is it? What is it? Can you tell us?
I'm too embarrassed.
Say it.
It's over.
Law and Order? Because that's
no.
Blue Bloods is gone.
No.
What's left in New York?
What would they have like someone like me on? I mean, you know,
Law and Order.
Nope. Well, besides Just Like That, Elbeth.
Oh yeah. Who is my kiss and tell smooch picture?
Oh.
You see? Look, there she is.
Oh, there you go. So you've been on it.
No, that was in the holdovers. My very, very brief moments.
I just keep getting called in for this thing. And anyway.
That's great though, that you have been called in for it though.
9 times and I gotten it. Yikes. Anyway.
No, but that says a lot about you. I haven't been in for that show once.
Oh, wow. And Just Like That, I keep thinking I should be in Sex in the City. I mean, what the? Anyway. So wait, what were we talking about?
Sorry, Baby. But everyone at Elsbeth, hire her.
So Sorry Baby. I did a bunch of auditions that day and it was not any better than the other ones that I didn't get. I will say that, you know, sometimes you go, oh, I'm going to get that one. I say that all the time and I don't get them. So I didn't even think about that. And I wasn't put up for the role by anyone except a friend of mine was up for a different role. And she showed me what she was reading. And I said, well, who's auditioning for those other things? She said, I don't know. She said, but she's like 10 years older than you, Alison, and they probably didn't give it to you. So I called up my agent and I said, well, why didn't you give it to me? She said, because she's 10 years older than you. She's not described like you. And I said, give me a shot, you know, a little shot. I can be older.
Who's your agent?
This was Tim.
Okay, at Model Club.
I have a lot of agents. So then, so then I spoke to Boston Casting, and they're like, Alison, if you wear any makeup, if you do anything, it's like just forget it. She's not like you. Blah blah blah. So I said, just give me the freaking script, you know. So anyway, so I did it with I did it, and like I said, it was fine. And it's very funny because when I went to the premiere of it, I sat next to the casting person. She said, "You know what, Alison? I would have never picked you for this role. I mean,
Wow.
I would not have thought of you for this role." But when I went on the set, Eva Victor's like, "Thank you so much for doing this." I'm like,
Oh, that's cool.
I said, "What?" She goes, "I was so happy I got you." And I'm like, it's a really small role. Am I allowed to say that on your show?
But as we know, that doesn't mean they're small.
Yes, but I'm funny and I'm throughout. A lot of it's my voice.
What are you playing?
I play the law clerk with the wonderful David Curtis behind
My
me.
last guest.
Yes, yes. So I am the law clerk, and I am, and every time I started, she would say, "Go back and take off the Vaseline, nothing on your lips, nothing on your face, pull that hair back, put her in gray." So it was great. It was great. It was so wonderful to.
So freeing in a way?
It was freeing. And listen, I'm not known for my looks anyway. So it was
stop.
really good. No, so it was really good to know that when I was younger, it mattered. But when you get older, you're just old. They don't care what you look like. You
One
know?
thing I want to say, you have not aged a bit. Since that fur coat thing, you look the same, for
It's
real.
really sweet to say.
Crazy.
I had a ton of hair, So anyway.
I never had that problem.
So no, it was, Sorry Baby was really, it was really fun because it was like the first time I'd heard from the ether when I sent out those tapes, and and there was that, and then immediately after I got Summer House. So I'm like, I'm never going to say I'm on a roll. I'm never going to say things were good because I always Kenahara. It's a Jewish thing. It means like you jinx it. But I had a really good year last year, and it was about time. It was about time.
For sure. But it sounds like for Summer House, did you work as hard to get Summer House as you did to get Sorry Baby? Is that another?
And this is a woman who cut off her hair for Chappaquiddick. I'd do anything, except for the Me Too thing. I did not fall for it. Anyway, no, for Summer House, there were like 10 roles for women in my age range. How rare is that, right?
Yeah, true. Very true.
And again, no one sent me in for it. And I sent my thing into like the person who was doing extra work. And then I found an agent in Connecticut who I had never worked with. And I asked her if I could ride on her coattails and send. Anyway, it was mostly the casting director in LA called me and said, "We really like you. We really want to put you in as Jacob's mother, but we need you to do," and I had done 3 versions of the character. They said, "We need you to do less than your lightest version. She's a Jewish mother." So I did one like this. I did one, "Oh, honey," and then I did all different levels of it.
Yeah.
So, they said, "We want it lower than the lowest. We don't want to stereotype. We just want you to be you." I'm like, score, yay.
You've been doing that.
Yeah. So, I brought something a little extra when I went on set, and I was really glad. And the people who are in it are really good. They're really good. That it's like playing tennis with a really good partner. If you have a good partner, you look so much better.
Sure. And it's such a rich experience too.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. I'm excited to see that.
I'm excited to see it too. I'm hoping next year, or something like that. But
is it doing festivals or is it still in post? What's going on?
It's in post. It hasn't even been finished, but I know I'm not going to be edited out. So
okay.
Good. I have a line that they repeat later. So
you're safe.
Yeah, I had one scene cut before I shot it, but I did get 2 in. So
never say never.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, no, they won't do it.
Oh no, they won't. I haven't. It's funny. I haven't been cut since I've been old.
I've been cut a good amount of times throughout the whole thing.
Oh well, when I was younger.
C'est la vie.
Yeah, I was all the time when I was younger. So anyway.
So last week, I believe in the news, there was a celebrity death with an actor you had worked with. What was this opportunity? I believe this is like the image that they have on IMDb for the film.
This is really interesting because I was working in New York and I was doing well. I was making a living as an actress. That's a big deal in New York.
That's huge. It's huge anywhere.
They covered my first baby delivery, like, my insurance. That's like never happened to me since. Anyway,
that's amazing.
So I was very reluctant to leave New York and come to Boston, but my husband was here and I commuted for like 15 years back and forth. And you know what that's like.
Yeah, that's hard.
I commuted and there was no Amtrak then. Okay. I sound like we went by stagecoach. Anyway.
And the roads were dirt. And
it was horrible. I had to hitchhike. Anyway, so I went back and forth to New York and I came to Boston and, didn't know anybody, had zero friends. And I met Carolyn Pickman. And
she's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Angela was an actress at the same time I was. So
really? From Boston Casting. Yeah.
No Boston Casting then. So, and I had, and you didn't even have demo reels then. You had VHSs, so you couldn't prove that you were decent. So she believed me when I told her that I really could do things in this town. And, and then I started booking commercials and stuff. And then she put me in for this, for a matter of principle. And it was a very good experience. Loretta Swit was kind. She was generous. I mentioned she only ate potatoes. She only ate potatoes for every meal.
Really?
That was really weird. Yeah. I remember thinking, I wonder, and she looked great.
Was it like a potato diet? Though those are fattening, aren't they?
She was on a potato diet. I didn't even know there was such. What was I to, And I played. Do you remember? This is way before your time. Room 222. Do you remember?
I've heard of it. I've never seen it, but I do know it.
It was a TV series, and Karen Valentine played this like, what am I going to do? The kids they're misbehaving, that type of thing. So, so I was the new new teacher, and there was a drug problem on the campus, and I was always coming like, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But what happened was it was a long shoot, and the morning before I lost my voice. I mean, lost my voice. Like, I got laryngitis, like I couldn't talk, and I was.
Was it a nerve stress thing or just something that?
No. There was I had the flu before. I was sick, and finally my voice was gone. And I went to the doctor, and they said, "There's no way in hell your voice is going to be back by tomorrow." I said, "You don't understand. It has to be back. It's my scene with Loretta, and I have to. I'm sitting there. I have to come back. I have to.
Oh God, yeah.
So I just downed honey and lemon, and she's crying, upset in the scene, and it worked. And I that's a scene that you have.
Can I play it?
Yes, you can play it, but you can see the scratchy. You'll get it. You'll get it. All right.
I thought actually when I did watch, I'm like, is that Harvey Fierstein doing her voice? But I don't know. Well, everyone else watch.
What's next? I have only been in this school for 6 months, and every morning I walk through that door and I grit my teeth, and I think, what crisis am I going to have to face today?
I know, we all feel like that some days.
Yeah, but I ought to be tougher. I mean, Janet, it's just that some of these kids out there, they don't even have a chance. You try, and then something like this happens. Damn it, no, I'm not going to lose it. I just get so mad sometimes, and I get so frustrated. I mean, why do we have to be in this alone? Why are people willing to let these kids' lives go down the tubes?
I get just as angry as you do. There are days the rage just wells up inside of me, but I don't let it get in the way of what I have to do.
Yeah, but you've been in the system for 8 years. How do you do it?
I take it a day at a time.
She couldn't find her line there for a second.
What?
For a second there, she almost dropped her line.
Yeah. I was going to say, and she ate potatoes. But anyway, it was a good experience, and it was an ABC. Remember the ABC after school specials? I don't know if you knew what those were.
Oh, I do. I was wondering what this was because it feels educational.
Yeah, it was an ABC after school special. It was really well shot, but the graininess after years.
Oh, sure. No, it looks like it's of its time.
Yeah, but it was great. And I met people like Tom Kemp and Peter Burkrock. I met people for the first time in Boston who would be my friends. So it was really, that was really wonderful.
So it helped to set, it's one of those, obviously not a small role, but it helps set that foundation for your future in the Boston.
Well, I had some credibility in Boston after that. And so I was, I was able to, again, get industrials, I was able to get more work. And again, everything was SAG. So it was, I was a SAG actress from New York who had credits, it was a good place to be.
And Boston also is a good place, even though you went into Boston with some credits. I had a couple when I went in, but it's a good place to gather some nice size
Oh,
credits to go elsewhere as well.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful, but you have to be careful not to. Boston's very cliquey, and
Sure, as anywhere, I think.
Yeah, but Boston, everybody. It's very hard to navigate without being obsequious or whatever. It's a very strange environment, but yes, it's done very well by me.
Boston is a weird, like we've talked about it before. It's so weird because you don't necessarily need an agent. It's all direct.
It's direct, and
unlike anywhere else.
I went to LA in between. I'm Bonnie Franklin from One Day at a Time was a very close family friend. So I went and I stayed with her when she was doing One Day at a Time. And no, they did not give me a role. Okay. I would sit there every day like that.
Oh,
but I got an agent there. And you know how you got agents in LA in that time? Because no one used to watch your VHS. You had to come into their office with a scene, all right, from a play, a scene, and you had to wow them with your scene. Now, so I'm in LA. I found a scene partner. I always did Neil Simon, Last of the Red Hot Lovers, one of those things. And I got me and my scene partner signed. They weren't even.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So that was the LA world.
My first LA agent, I too had to read he gave me like a paragraph and I read it to him, like a cold read. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
But
You
I feel
didn't
like I
have to
didn't.
scene? You didn't have to do a scene?
It was just a cold read directly to him, this mini paragraph. I wasn't good, but I think it was just like, I should make him do this because this is what we do. But I had a connection that hooked me up. So
I had no connections. I was like, actually, I lied. I told them, I told them that I was friendly with, this is too awful. An old time director had suggested me, which he hadn't, but I knew they were never going to look him up. So
but it worked, everybody. Do it.
It worked. I had to get into the office somehow, and I had already left all my 7,000 pictures and resumes. So that was LA.
It is amazing the career you've created for yourself strictly off of your fearlessness.
Well, I really appreciate you saying that, because I'll tell you, before I was doing this thing, I was like, I've got nothing to share because I don't have this great career that so many people you've interviewed with. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm still here.
No, that's the important thing. And I think, like I've said with a lot of the guests, and everyone started at different places, at our point, it's still so exciting. Whatever happens, is something like you were so excited for Summer House and Sorry Baby. That's still so exciting, and you value it. Which is good for us for sort of sticking out through the tough parts, especially now with the post-strike pain.
Oh, it's very quiet, but it's your time to live your life. I mean,
exactly.
Like these are the times you look forward to, because then when you do work, you'll have said, "Gosh, and I got to swim for a week," or "I got to," there'll always be other work.
And then we'll get interrupted by annoying auditions.
That's how I feel sometimes. That's how I feel sometimes.
Yeah, me too. When it was a little busier.
Yeah, I know. It's like, when you get them all, you're right. You'll get a bunch of them and you'll be like, I don't want another one. And then all of a sudden it's 2 weeks and you're hearing nothing. And you're like,
I don't regret those anymore. Oh, well.
Yeah. There are times, and I know you've had them, and I've had them, where we knew the next job was going to be around the corner, even though it's an uncertain business.
Absolutely.
We were willing to do anything. And we felt like we were, and I'm still on the high from last year, so I'm not desperate yet.
Good. No, good.
And,
the one thing I want to say about you, as competitive and go-getter as you are, and as much as that, but you are so supportive of other actors. You've given me opportunities which have broadened and strengthened my connections in Boston.
Thank you.
Given me great opportunities and helped me meet other people. So
I never, ever forget someone who is nice, ever. And you're probably the nicest guy in Boston and now New York. No, you are. You're like Mr. Nice Guy. I am not, I am not as diplomatic as you. I'm honest. And if I don't like someone, sometimes they know it. And no one would know. I mean, you're good. I just don't have that. I don't have that gene.
I like everybody.
Yeah, I know. I'm from New York. I don't trust anybody. Anyway, so when I wasn't doing anything, I was able to create some of my own work, which is how and then I thought of you.
Can you talk about, so we're talking about chemistry read right now.
I did chemistry read. I have no problem writing. When I went to college, I won the writing award. I was a writer for my part-time jobs when I was in New York. I was always writing. I wrote for rock magazines. I interviewed everybody. I was a writer. That's what I do the best. but it's not what I love to do the best. You know,
Sure.
it's so I can write a movie and I could write a movie for a million times, and doing a movie about a single mom who's an actress who's trying to get back into the business is not the hardest stretch. I mean, that's pretty easy to write. I think I did it in, a day.
Have you written a feature? Not to interrupt this part of it, but do you write features?
No, I've never written a feature, because here's the problem, Ian. You write a good thing, you know how you want to cast it, and then you have to get the money together. And that's not fun. That is not fun. And
well, how about for the just writing and selling the script? Not to say that's easy. I know it's really hard. My co-host of my other show, he's a writer, and it's tough work.
It is very tough work, and I don't know if I can, I think if I ever went away and I would write something long or whatever. But in the meantime, I just want to be in front of the camera.
Was this, but doing chemistry read, and because it sounds obviously writing is pretty easy for you.
Yeah.
Was this at the time, because things were kind of slow, you're like, I just want to get a little bit more control of my career?
This is what happened. I had gotten a Toyota commercial the year before, and it ran for years, and I made a lot of money on it. And it was so great because there's so few commercials. So I was so happy to get it. And I took all the money from that, and I decided I'm going to put it into a bigger project. So I'm going to do my own film with that money, so I can justify, why I'm doing it, and I will, support it. And by the way, I'm really good about supporting other people's films.
You are. I see you. No, I see you commenting all the time on people's posts and really.
And I also, financially, sometimes, if it's something I care about, I'll throw something. So I figured this is for me, and I had a partner, and I knew someone who would do. And it's easy to cast, except for that one role. There was one tough role that was hard to cast.
The young guy.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so good. You found such a good.
Yeah, he was really good. But I learned a lot doing that movie. I learned about what I wouldn't do again. I learned about what I'm capable of doing. And I learned that nobody really knows what they're doing. You just have to pretend you know what you're doing in this business, because no one knows what they're doing. They don't. They're just, a couple of people, but
sure.
I've been on sets where I've cried because I've felt like so frustrated or so whatever. And and I sit there and I'm like, what can I do? Or what, whatever. And then I'm like, what? It isn't about me. It isn't about
exactly.
This business is rough. And even at my age, I still get setbacks that are really icky. But Chemistry Read did very well. I traveled with it for 2 years. It won a ton of awards. I think I have one behind me. Yeah, one right behind me.
It's so good. It's so sharply written. Can I play a clip?
Oh, absolutely.
It might be kind of obvious as to what clip I've chosen, but here we go.
Barry, did you see this house?
You understand this is a chemistry read, right? This kid needs to love you, and I mean love you, Tony. Do you have any idea how much money this kid's movies have grossed and what a percentage of that would mean? I had to move heaven and earth to get Top Dog to see any of my people. He made the last mom I sent in there leave in tears. So you need to go in there, and you need to be strong. If this kid doesn't love you, that's it for the season. You're
too old to be a young talent. Yeah, I know. Seriously. Chemistry read? That is the most pretentious expression. I mean, why can't they just say a reading to see how you get along? Or how about calling in an audition? Chemistry read. Isn't this kid young enough to be my son?
That's the point. He needs someone to play his mom. You understand, he is the top grossing name. So go in there and show them you want this.
I am so all over this, Barry. Really.
I didn't mean to choose just me. I didn't realize I forgot how much
I love it. I loved having you there. And I love that you opened the movie. And I got to tell you, in every place I did it, and I went to all these festivals. Best one was New York, the Chelsea Film Festival, but they laughed so hard during this movie, and they got all the little jokes, they got
all the local jokes. And
yes. I got a joke about Peter Luger's. I had a thing about there's no bad side of the Long Island Railroad tracks, and the place went crazy. I'm like, oh, thank God someone else thinks what I think is funny is funny. So that was the good part. That was really, really rewarding.
The writing, the acting, the casting, the locations, like everything about it just came together so beautifully. I'm still so impressed by it.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's
really.
It was.
It is.
Yeah.
And then, But then you went on, you did another one, which I don't think I have a clip of, but you did one more recently called Pickleball, the movie.
Yeah, I have a cute scene with Steve Sweeney in that. I think I don't know if I sent it to you. That's cute.
I did. I don't think I uploaded it.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't. I think Chemistry Read was a better movie, but that one was a job. So
Yeah,
a job is different than a work of love, and so I had different feelings about it.
sure, I get that.
Yeah.
But good for you for even doing it and continuing to be creative on your own, or even if you're hired to just create like that. That's so cool.
You'd be a great director. You would be a great director.
I mean, I did go to film school, but I haven't done it.
You could do it. You could do it because you can talk to actors and you know what they went through and you're kind. You'd be wonderful.
I might be too much of a softie. It's hard for me to tell people what to do.
Well, bring me as your assistant because I'm not a
All right. Oh, you can be my AD. Go get it, Allison.
Where are you? You're not on time. I'll be good.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't want to keep you forever. Is there? Oh yeah. You know what I do want to talk about, and maybe this is the kiss and tell.
What
is it? The kiss and tell? I'm going to show you a picture. If this is the kiss and tell, then we'll get to this shortly. Wait, hold on. Where's the picture? Is this the kiss and tell?
You see that girl way back in the turquoise?
I do.
Okay. All right. I can do another kiss and tell. I have so many. I'll tell you this story now because this is a good one.
Is this the belt?
Yeah. Am I allowed to?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is your kiss and tell.
All right. Oh, this is my kiss and tell. I have so much more. Okay. Kiss and tell.
That's okay. We'll tell another one after you share some advice.
Good one. So,
Okay.
one of the things that I did was, when I was auditioning for featured extra work in New York was, I got on to be the main base of the secretaries in Working Girl. And
Great movie.
And there was only like 15 of us that were there for months, Ian, months.
That's amazing.
We go there and we'd sit there and we'd sit in this pool of secretaries. And I think I'm going to be very diplomatic. Melanie Griffith was going through a very hard time in her life at that point. And she would come in and she would sit on my desk because I was the closest to there. And she'd say, I don't know what to do. I really like Stephen Bauer, but I'm thinking of going back with Don. And she would cry and cry about
Talking about her personal life?
Yeah, Don Johnson.
Wow.
And she would go and she would cry and cry on my desk. And I would sit there going, okay, she's about to be in a movie. She's in a movie with Harrison Ford and Sigourney Weaver. All right. And I'm a lowly extra. And I have to listen to this every day. I mean, she went on and on. This is a bad kiss and tell because I'm so mean, but she was going, whatever, but she was in a great movie.
This isn't a book though, as well. So you're not really revealing anything too.
Oh, good.
You could say, right?
Yeah.
Because it's in the book.
It was a hard shoot. All right. So some days she didn't come in. And so, but we were all in this secretary pool. And we were like I always thought of us like being little chicks, and we all wanted the worm because we wanted a line. So the 15 of us would always be like, oh, make me the one that says phone Tess, make me go in. Like, make me. And we all sit there every day. And I always got the mother load of problems with her sitting on my desk. It was like a running joke. Oh boy, Allison, here she comes. And they'd sit on my desk and tell me her wonderful problems. Oh, boo-hoo, Don Johnson, and I'd be like, oh, don't worry. And, all that anyway. And Sigourney Weaver was so nice. And she would upgrade all the guys on the set because they were guys who were playing, janitors or this or that. And she would always get them a line. So she was like a doll to the guys. All right. And then there was Harrison Ford, and he was another one who plopped on my desk a lot, but he was great. And he would tell good stories, and he was reading Bonfires of the Vanity at the time. My dad is quoted in that book, so I showed him that.
Tell everyone who your dad is.
My father, Saul Wachtler, who was the chief judge of the state of New York. So he had this line about ham sandwich. So it was in the book, and we laughed about it. And Harrison Ford was really, really nice.
Oh,
so
that's cool.
Great. So then this thing, and then the scene would start up, and someone would say, and she couldn't read. A lot of times, Melanie didn't know her lines, so they'd have someone of the secretaries say something like, "Well, aren't you supposed to go there?" or something like that. And I'm sitting there going, me, please, please, please make it me. Make me the next one to say a line. So, and every day, Michael said, Allison, you're supposed to be staring into the abyss. You're the secretary who stares into the abyss. Yeah. Abyss. So anyway, and we had our hair out to there, and sometimes hair out to there. I met Carly Simon too, and sometimes they'd put our hair out to there, and then we'd go home and we weren't used because Melanie didn't get to set or something. So it was
because she was drinking a bit, correct?
And we like to say that.
Anyway. It's in that book.
Okay. All right. So it was a tough set. It took a long time to shoot anything. I thought it was going to be the biggest bomb in the world because it took so long to shoot. And we were getting so restless and it was hot and our hair was down to there. Anyway, so then, so it comes to the final thing. And Mike Nichols says to me, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this, but it's true. He says to me, he said, all right, at the end, 3 girls are going to give Tess, the present. So he says, all right, Alison, finally. I'm like, yes, I'm the only one who hadn't gotten a line at that point. Wow. Like a running joke on the set. And then he picks 2 other girls and we sit there and we're just about to shoot it. And he says, it's looking too white. Alison, get out of here. Moving a black chick, just like that. And I started to cry. I was like,
that's hard.
Excited. And it's so weird. And the person who he moved in is a very well-known person. So I won't even go there.
Can you say who that is or no?
No, okay. It's not that hard to find out, but anyway.
For them, but I can imagine how painful that was for you, especially after waiting so long.
And it's interesting because when I look down the list of the working girl class, the cast, I realized that only me and 2 others out of all of us are still in the business. That's how hard this business is.
Wow.
And those girls were hungry. We were all like, we wanted that line. So when that happened, and this is the thing, I was so upset that I took my Yves Saint Laurent belt from the set.
Good for you,
girl, and I still have it. So that's what you get when you screw with me. I take something from your set. Anyway,
sell it on eBay.
No, isn't that funny? Can you believe I still have it?
That's amazing. They're gonna come get it. Mike Nichols will rise from the grave.
Yeah, I know. When you were talking about this thing, I'm like, I have so many stories. And then I said,
I love it.
I wonder if I have the belt. So I dig through and I'm like finding that.
No way.
So it's just funny. But it was painful, Ian. It was painful.
And those times still could come.
Oh.
And the victories.
But I got to tell you, when you are on a set, and you are so hoping to get upgraded and it's your turn and you know it and you've been there for months and you're listening to everyone else, it's hard.
Yeah.
But
I've signed up for that before with that promise of, it's really featured and you're probably going to get a line.
Your featured is featured. You're so featured that you're going to be featured.
Exactly. You're featured in that group of 200 people.
Yeah. But you're the feature. Anyway,
I understand. They have to sell it.
It's really hard. It's always been hard, but it is wonderful when you work. But it's also wonderful when you have a life. And that's
for sure. That's everything.
That's everything. You have to have a life. I say this whenever people say, oh, my daughter wants to go into this business. I always say 2 things. One, is there anything else that you want to do? Because if there's anything else that you want to do, unless you need to be Kim McAfee and Bye Bye Birdie, if you need to do this more than anything, if you really need it, do something else. And then the other thing I always say is, just remember, this business is never going to love you back. You're a storyteller. You're telling your story. And if you don't tell your story, someone else is going to tell the story.
It eats them up and spits them out. It really does.
It really does. And I know that sometimes I feel like I'm so hardened when I go to sets, Ian, and I listen to these people who say, I just started last week and I just got a this or a that. And I'm sitting there going, I've lost roles when they've flipped a coin and the other person got it and the casting person told me. I'm good for them for not being jaded yet.
It will happen. I mean, for me, and I've said this on the show before, I always put it through the filter of, on my deathbed, is that really that 2-liner in Law and Order I didn't get because of whatever reason?
Bravo.
It's not going to matter.
Yes. I tell you, that is so, so true. And when someone sees Sorry Baby, and a lot of people came up to me, the extras, and they said, I auditioned for your part. And I didn't like you, but blah, blah, blah. And I kept thinking, and then you're going to see this part and you're going to go, that's what I was stressing about? That stupid little thing. I was so upset about it. It's like, it's nothing. You're right. On your deathbed, no one cares.
Yeah.
No one cares that I wasn't wealthy lady in Elsbeth. No one cares, I mean.
That's still going to happen though. That's going to happen.
It's
It doesn't matter. It's exciting for us, and yay to get some decent money for not saying a whole lot, or when we get to say a whole lot. Either way, it's all awesome.
It's so great booking. It's great.
It is.
Booking, and to have a life when you're not booking.
But most of us are not booking, and most people never hear back.
I'm telling you,
it's just the way it is.
I always say that. My husband says, "What'd you do today?" I said, "I threw 5 into the ether. I throw them into the ether."
So healthy.
And then I forget. I forget them. I totally forget them a day later.
I'm so glad I can do that now. There was a time where most of us were like, "Oh my God, I haven't heard from that one. It's been 3 days. It's been a week. Still haven't heard." But it's a month later. Maybe they're still casting. Forget about them now.
Don't tell anybody about your auditions ever. Never tell anyone, because then they're going to ask you how it went, and then you'll have to remember it. So whenever my friends say, "What are you doing?" I always say, "It's the thing that you're not allowed to ask me about." Because I don't want anyone to know what I'm auditioning for. If I don't get it, I don't want anything until it's in the can, done, and finished. So I think keep it quiet.
For me, I think getting the audition is a gift in itself. It's like, oh, yay, an opportunity. Because there's like people I see on my morning jog who are not in the business. They'll be like, "Have you worked since that last one? Like a few weeks ago or whatever?" I'll be like, "No, I haven't." And they're like, "Oh, frowny face." I'm like if they're texting with me, I'm like, it's really okay. I mean, it's the business. It is what it is. People outside the business don't get it.
No, oh my God, how many times have you been to a thing where they say, "Have I seen you in anything?" And then I'm like,
"Oh, that's the hardest."
I hate it. They say, "Have you seen me in anything?" And I used to say, "Well, have you been to the ground round?" Because I was on the placemat for years there. Have you seen? I did stupid thing I did, because you didn't see that, then you didn't see me.
And you're like, "I don't know what you watch. It's possible."
It's awful, and your relatives are standing there, and your friends from your childhood are like, "Well, did I see you in anything?" I'm like, "Did you? I don't know."
And then you don't want to go through it, because then you sound like you're like, "Yeah, I did this and that," and then you're boasting. There's a fine line.
Oh, there's a very fine line. And I always say it's coming out next year, but this year I finally got to say it's coming out next year, and I meant it.
That's exciting. It's nice when you've got some stuff you value in the pipeline.
Yes,
not just
I'm really glad, but I'll tell you something. I can't seem to get that television thing. It's like a thing, it's just
that specific show.
Well, no, just, some of the television stuff I go, but that specific show is painful, because every single time I think I got it.
But obviously they like you. I mean, we could talk about this, but
they like you.
I'm not going to do that. I'm jealous. I wish I got an opportunity for it, and you get them.
Oh, well, I never got even an audition for Law and Order. I mean, maybe I got a couple, but I know I can tell.
You'd be great on that. I don't know why you haven't, but
it is what happens. It's like the mother's a drug dealer, and then they, I went from being the wife, then I took the hiatus when I had my kids, and then I come back. All of a sudden, I'm the ex-wife they want to kill. I'm no longer, I'm like, I'm the bad guy. I'm like the mean landlord. I'm just awful. I'm not the sweet person anymore. And there are not a lot of awful things. And there are people who are scarier looking than I am.
You could be the disgruntled person in the police station like you are in Sorry Baby. Like the disgruntled.
Yes, but no one never saw that. That what's that one that you did where you were the scary guy when there was a close-up? What was that? Oh, Gotham. Remember when you did?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Which was like a 2-liner, which there are no small roles.
All right. I went out to Gotham, and it was this horribly nasty person thing, right? And she was yelling or whatever. And, I thought I was so good. I was so nasty when I did. And I actually went to New York for the callback. And I saw the person who got it. They scared the crap out of me. I'm like, I couldn't be that scary in my scariest. I mean, she was so good. I'm like, yes, I am not worthy. You should have gotten it, So sometimes
I'm not scary either. I hear you. It's always the roles that we don't even think. We're like, well, there's no way I'm going to book that. And those are the ones we get.
Yeah, something that's very, very true. Know who you are, know what you can do, and just go with it,
Are we going to call that your advice? Is that your advice? Or do you have other advice?
I have so much advice, but I have to shut up because I've probably gone way over the line.
No, you're great. Oh my God, we are in an hour and 13. How does that happen?
Oh my God. Are we at an hour and 13?
Isn't that crazy? It's crazy.
I'm so sorry. I don't.
No, you're awesome. This is great.
For this long. My thing is, I think I've said everything. Do everything that you can. That keeps you busy, that makes you happy. I'm on stage once a year, no matter what. I don't care if it's a reading in New York or whatever. I do that. I do voiceovers when I can. But I do want to say that our job is to be a storyteller. That is what we are. We are a storyteller through the filter of us. And if someone doesn't want you for something, or it isn't, or whatever, then you have a choice. You either stay in for the longevity, you say, I'm moving on, or whatever. It's not going to make or break you. And the fact, my line is, this business will never love you back. So you might as well do it for you.
Exactly. Otherwise, it's so unhealthy. It can be so unhealthy if you take it too to heart.
Yeah, like John Avildsen said, the next morning, it's the loneliest day of your life. So what? You reach that, and then you got another valley.
That was
and then you another one.
Great lesson right from the start and it probably took some more experience for you to go, oh, that's exactly what he meant. Okay, yeah. I get it. I get it now.
A great role. Guess what? The next day, you're not on the set anymore, and you're looking for your next job.
And you don't know if that's going to happen again. You can be hopeful. I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
But you never know. We could have done our best work, and that's okay, because we still got our families. We still got our little doggies who are passing gas.
Just to say what our best work is, Ian. For all I know, maybe crying in front of Loretta Swit was my peak. Maybe I peaked in high school. Who knows?
I think it was the fur coat thing. Do you have it in a solid?
Yeah, I mean, there you go. So
good.
God, let's hope that they get more commercials in there around, and that.
I just got a commercial agent last week.
Congratulations!
Thank you. I was like, I should be attempting that. I guess
you'll be great. Oh my God, you will be every doctor and everything, and thank God.
I'll take them. I mean, yeah, I'll take residuals to be a doctor, whatever.
Oh my God, they're so great. Residuals are so great. When you know better than I do. You know better than I do.
Occasionally.
I got one for 1 cent. I don't know anyone who's ever gotten one for 1 cent. 0.1.
This guy.
Really?
It's so dumb. I was like, and the ones they mail to you, I'm like, a cent and you mailed it to me? This costs way more to get.
I'm happy to get my 1 cent. I say that all the time. It makes me 1 cent richer. Yay, me.
For like a job we did, I say this all the time, like for a job we did 25 years ago and we're still getting money for it. That's like, for me, it's free money. Audrey would say otherwise, but.
No, why? What does she say?
Well, she's like, no, you earned that. I'm like, well, I know, but I didn't know that penny was going to come today. So yay.
Oh, yay. Yay is right. And I won't even let them send it through the green, the green thing. I want my check. I love looking at that check.
Oh, but I do like it when it just gets in your account immediately.
I like to see it.
It's sort of like, oh my God, there's money in my account.
Yeah. I just got a check from a movie I did 10 years ago. I'm like, finally, so good.
That feels good.
So yeah, I chase.
We may have discussed it, but do you have a most cherished moment on set, or vice versa? You can choose, or say both, or something you want more than anything beyond Elsbeth.
Oh, I can't believe I told you that. I wasn't supposed to tell you that. I'm very embarrassed. I told you that.
The Elsbeth thing?
Yes.
No, we all want something that bad, and then we've had out. No, I get that. I totally get that. We all feel that way.
Then everyone else is going to get Elsbeth and going to put on their Facebook thing.
And be like, Alison.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Is there any, I just learn. I want to tell people to learn from people who've been in the business longer, not to be afraid to hire them because they think that, they're not going to listen to them, to learn from other people. I can't believe how few people actually, like, I'll say something to someone or I'll want to give them advice. It's like your kids. And they're like, you don't know. And I'm like, we know. We've been here for a long time. So listen to people and learn from them. And that's all I have to say. And I have many other things to say, but people want good actors so they don't have to direct them. So
sure.
So be good. So
bring something to the table.
Bring something to the table and be good. And that's all everyone wants to do anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I think and that would work in any regard in life, like getting advice. Because when you're younger, you're like, oh, of course, the older person's giving me advice. They don't realize it's 10 minutes later when they're our age. Exactly. Like, they don't realize how quickly that happens, and they're the old person. It's crazy.
Putting 2,000 pictures and resumes under the door is as embarrassing as anything, but it had to do it to get to what, to the next step. It's
you fought for every opportunity you got. It's incredible. I didn't know a lot of these stories.
I had for Chappaquiddick, they made me cut my hair and dye it black.
Oh, wait, I didn't play. I had a Chappaquiddick.
No. I mean, just saying that everybody else, like, you just get a role. Allison, if you want the role, you're going to cut your hair. You're going to be stampeded on. It's going to have to stay black, and it's going to have to stay like that for 6 months. All right. And then, I had a character name and everything. They switch it on the credits to female reporter instead of Liz Trotter.
Oh,
what are you going to do?
There's nothing you can do. I mean, you saw I shaved my head for that role. I mean, it's what we got to do for the Julia thing. Like
Oh,
my
wow.
wife was like, "You have to wear a hat. I don't want to see that for like a month."
Oh my
It was
God.
like-
I just like, I remember, or having to shoot something the day after a funeral. And I still call my dad all the time. And I'm like, I have to cut my hair. He goes, this is what you do. This is your job.
It is
How
our
would you
job.
even think that would define you? Don't even hesitate. You tell them yes, you know?
Yeah. And there's no regrets, right? You're so happy you did that job.
Oh
That was
my
a great
God,
job.
yes, you have to keep doing things. I'm sorry I talk too much.
Well, no, I wanted to, but is there, other than the opportunities we've already spoken of, was there one that meant the most to you?
I know I'll think of a million when I get off the phone. But
No pressure. Yeah.
I will say that the Malcolm McDowell thing was
Again, Summer House, everybody.
yeah, and hearing the insecurities of so many actors I've worked with, so many, and the kindness. Lily Tomlin was the kindest person. I spent 3 days with Jane Fonda on another thing,
Yeah.
and she was great. It was like, yay, I'm glad she's successful. She's great. She taught so much, you know?
That's
She taught me
awesome.
so much. Yeah. So
She's a legend.
she is, and she so cares about the world.
Yeah, she does.
She really does. I met her during the Love Canal days. I don't know if you know about that. She was with Tom Hayden. I was the hostess at my college when someone came in to speak. I'd pick them up at the airport and I would take them to all dinner and lunch for 3 days. I did it with Charlton Heston. I did it with
Oh,
Jason.
wow.
I did it with all these people, and you really got a sense of what these people were like. Charlton Heston.
I feel like Charlton Heston and Jane Fonda are opposites.
Opposites. They are opposites. Charlton Heston's lecture was movies in America, and it was all about him.
And from my dead cold hand.
Yeah, he was like that. Jane Fonda was, all she wanted to know was about me.
That's cool. That's
Like,
really cool.
asking about me, you know.
That's how I think it should be, but that's my opinion.
And Lily Tomlin too. She had me in her trailer having lunch with her, you know.
That's really cool.
And I listened to them, you know.
And of course you're eating it up and like, oh, I want this knowledge.
Yeah. And if you can get a really great teacher too, that's the other thing. I mean, Larry Moss would send us to see Whoopi Goldberg before she was Whoopi Goldberg. So, you know, they give you great advice.
Yeah,
Take
training.
Advice.
Training's important. Is there anything else I need you to do? Anything else you want to share or tell us is coming up? We have Sorry Baby coming out like this week. Streaming.
I have a couple of short films. I have one that I did with a real legend in New York. I can't even remember because I'm floating, which is a beautiful script.
Oh, it's called Floating. Is it called
I
Floating?
forgot the woman who's in it. She's wonderful. She was on Falcon Crest.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but she.
No, it's okay. We all forget names.
Anyway, and I just shot that right after Summer House, and that was really. It was a beautiful script. I was so happy to be a part of it, and I had read it during COVID as a screenplay. You know how when you read things and they never remember you for the role, they just had you read it. This time they came back and said, "You read that so well. Will you do it if we do the movie of it?"
That's great. Now that's the business remembering you for a change.
Yes. During COVID, I think I did over 40 staged readings for 5 different companies.
I don't like doing those.
Oh, I love them.
Oh.
I love them. I did a zillion of them.
Good for you.
But I only like when they're short. If they're over an hour, I'm gone.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Oh, even if they're over 4 minutes, I'm gone.
Yeah. It's like after an hour, I'm like, oh, what was for dinner? Anyway. All right.
Yeah. Thank you, Alison. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for listening to me. I appreciate it. I hope I gave some advice that people haven't heard before.
What a joy it's been to have you. Seriously, I didn't know these stories. Everyone, go find Sorry Baby. I think it's coming to theaters or straight to streaming. I don't know. It's at A24.
No, it's going to be in theaters at AMC's. It's going to be in June in LA and next week in LA and New York, and then it's going to be all over the place on July 18th, I believe.
Awesome. A24 is huge, so that's
and
so
you'll
cool.
hear my voice before you see me. So and
she'll look like this.
Yes, I'm a sight for sore.
Can't wait. You should have worn your fur coat.
Oh, I know. They didn't know. They wanted me very, very unglamorous.
And everyone, you can bid for her belt from Working Girl on eBay starting tonight at 7 p.m. East Coast
You're
time.
like Rocky, the belt.
Oh, it's amazing. It looks brand new. Thank you anyway. Everyone,
thank you.
Please like, share, comment, and stalk Alison respectfully.
There you
and
go.
Alison, stand by for 1 second and say goodbye, everyone else.
All right.
Thank you, Alison.